what it's like, right? All right. We've got a speaker who's going to talk to you tonight. New to our stage. She went from a homeless single mom to a multi-million-dollar earner. She's a coach, inspirational speaker, best-selling author. She's been on Fox News, CNN, many other media sources. She's helped create change through faith and the resilience of the human spirit. Please welcome to the stage Miss Melanie Greenough. All right.
Hey, Las Vegas! That's a lot of people. You know what's amazing is you can't hear anything from up here, so if y'all clapped just now, thank you. Very, very good. I want to talk to the people at the back of the room because, you know, it's always like you're the farthest away, and I want to bring y'all up here. You heard Eric say that my backstory is a little bit different in the real world, but in network marketing, it's not really different at all. You've heard stories over and over and over again of women overcoming unsurmountable odds, haven't you? Pardon? Oh, okay, because I thought just for a second there my mic wasn't on. So, how many of you have overcome some things in your life by a show of hands? And how many of you have done it in the face of adversity from the people closest to you? Okay. So my topic tonight is closing, and it's going to be an interesting one because I was supposed to train on skill set, but I never do what I'm told. Ever. Sorry, Eric. Well, actually, Marina, I should be apologizing to, shouldn't I? So I want to talk tonight about why we need to become master closers. And, you know, anybody who's spent 5 minutes with me, the first thing they'll say is, I'm all business. And that is true. And interestingly enough, today at lunch, I had a guy say, after we started talking, a gentleman said to me, very, very amazing young man that was like hungry for knowledge and wanted to learn how to build this business. And how many of you want to get to 7 figures? Okay, we just had to take a minute. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. How you do one thing is how you do, and that was pathetic. So how many of you want to get to 7 figures? There we go. Okay, now we're talking. Okay, so I'm at lunch, and this young man says to me, that's interesting that was your answer. I heard heart in that. So what he said was, I'm all business, therefore, what? I must not have a heart. And this is what women face in particular, because as a man, I can be a ruthless business person, and it is what? Oh, you got this. As a woman, I'm now some like calculated, which by the way, if you get in my way, I will run you over. So that's kind of accurate. Just kidding. Not really. So, what I found even at lunch today, after 10 years in this industry, after going from broke, homeless, single mom to this stage, say what? How many of you want to be on this stage? Right? I don't even know what just happened. I'll fill you in a year when I figure it out. So I was reflecting at lunch at how many times that's happened in my life where I've gone after what I've wanted and I've executed and I've worked just as hard as the men next to me. I have probably worked harder in some cases to overcome some things. And yet, I'm still judged as not having a heart. Which is really interesting because when I said I wasn't going to follow direction on teaching you about closing, I am going to teach you about closing. But I'm going to teach you how I took my closing ratio over 90%. How many of you would like a closing ratio like that? Okay, so how I did it was actually all heart, and I just realized I should probably have a remote control, which I'm never allowed to touch at home. So this is very exciting. You guys think I'm kidding? I'm not. So why do we need to become master closers? Why is it important in our lives to be able to sit down with people and get them started in the business, which we know is just the beginning, right? Just the beginning. Getting the credit card. How many of you, by the way, by a show of hands, have trouble getting the credit card? Can I see? If you guys be honest with me, I can help you more. So how many of you have trouble with the credit card? Okay, awesome. So I love getting the credit card. Like, can I have your credit card? See, he's like, yeah, you can have my credit card. It's like my favorite thing to do. So I'm going to show you guys how I do it and why I can do it in good conscience every single time. So we need to become master closers because closing isn't actually about getting the credit card. It's about changing lives. So I told you, or Eric had mentioned that my life has turned out probably better than I expected. I'm living in a home that many of you maybe wouldn't call your dream home, but it is mine. It's the perfect size. I absolutely love it. We got a Maserati for my husband, which I'm also not allowed to drive. Do you know why? I run over every curb in sight. I have an SUV. He drives the Maserati. My 17-year-old daughter has driven that car, and I haven't. Just saying. Okay, so and the best thing I've ever gotten from network marketing is that man right there, Mr. Greg Greenough, which is, where is he, Greg? Give a wave. Let them see you, please. Thank you. I met him in network marketing, and I was like, I need that. Does he come with a top package? Oh, yeah. Oh, we gotta have some fun. But no, seriously, that's what happened. So, things are good. I have a 17, 18-year-old daughter, which, by the way, they're watching me live stream from home. Love you, girls. But things have turned out really, really well. And that's not where I started, though. That's not where I started. Where I started, I ended up in a women's shelter with my daughter. She was 9 months old. I had no family that was close anywhere near me within 15 hours to talk to. And actually, my ex got a restraining order, so I couldn't, or not restraining order, a no travel order, so I couldn't even go to stay with my mom. I had no bank account. I had no car. I had no money. I literally had less than $5 to my name and the clothes on my back. And I ended up in this women's shelter, and I don't know if you guys have ever stayed in a women's shelter. You don't have to tell me, but they don't have locks on the doors, and so you come out of a very abusive situation. Obviously, if you're in a women's shelter, there's a reason for that, and you end up in this place where everything is foreign to you, and there's no lock on your door, which creates panic and terror. And so I remember I sat down with the woman that ran the shelter, and she said, we're going to have to figure something out for you. You don't have any money, etc. And I had to go apply for government assistance. Now, I grew up in a, not poor home, but not middle class home either. Do you know what I mean? Like, kind of right in there where there was like one pair of shoes a year, but we weren't hurting. I never went hungry. That makes sense? So here I am, I've got nothing, and I sit down with this woman, and I don't know if you've ever applied for government assistance, but they make you feel like you're this big. And I remember sitting in that chair with my baby on my lap, and I remember thinking, I will never put my financial status in a man's hands again. Never. So I had to bootstrap it. I got an apartment, if you want to call it that, if you guys want to show that slide. There was low-income housing. There was a 2.5-year waiting list. By the grace of God, I got it in 2 weeks. It was a dive. I had that car, which is a car I bought when I was 16 years old, and it was on its last leg, and I had bills I could not pay off. So here I was, baby, that life, trying to figure out how am I going to advance. I had looked at and been around network marketing my entire life. I had been signed up in a couple of companies' used products, but I never got it. I didn't get how to do it. It looked like it was something out. Have you guys ever done that? Anybody in the room? You got started with a company and it looked kind of good. Oh, like 4 people are honest. Whatever. So, whatever. Anywho. I went and built a couple traditional businesses. That's actually how I got out of that situation, and that was good. But guess what traditional business gives you? Anybody know? If it is a small traditional business, it is a noose around your neck. I had 44 employees, 65,000 a month in overhead, and I was told by every man on the planet that I would not succeed in those businesses. And if you tell me I can't do something, what am I going to do? Oh, absolutely. How many of you are like that? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so built those companies, get started in network marketing. I'm running these companies. It happens to be the worst day I've had ever in business. I sit down, I've got a glass of wine in my hand because clearly you're not supposed to drink to feel better, but I did that night. And my mom's best friend phoned me for the 14th time and said, "Did you look at that video?" And I was like, "Dear God, if I look at it, will you lose my number?" Seriously, like I was just like, I am tired. I looked at it. Now here's what I'd learned. I'd learned numbers. People can talk a good game, but numbers never lie. Numbers never lie. And I remember sitting in the kitchen. I remember looking at that comp plan, and I remember looking at my mother and going, "Shut the front door." What? What? Sign me up and get me on the phone with somebody who knows what they're doing, because you clearly do not. Took you 2 weeks to get me to look at this. Like, seriously, like, I'm already mad at her, right? So I got on the phone with her and I said to the woman, "Listen, I do not have time for a financial disappointment, for an emotional disappointment. I do not have time for anything that is not going to produce real fruit in my life right now." How many of you feel like that? Right? Like, I don't have time for your crap. No time. She said to me, "If you're teachable and you're coachable and you follow directions, I swear to you, this industry is real. I just needed somebody to give me permission that this was the real deal." This was the real deal. Now, the teachable and coachable, still kind of working on. Tried really hard, though. They said I had to change. They said I had to change. So you want to know how I went from there to where I am today, and how all these, haven't these speakers been like off the charts? Like, seriously, mind blowing, and so genuine, and so wanting to help you guys. You know, when you're backstage talking with them, they want to pour into the up and comers, the ones that are willing to be teachable and coachable, and not just here. Don't be an asshole. Don't ask how to do it and then not go do it, right? They'll get it later. It's okay. So here I was. I had to change. And I started that process. How many of you feel like you've been changing, but maybe the paychecks haven't caught up to your growth yet? Right? Just keep going. I promise that it will. But we need to start with why. When we're closing, you understand, I didn't sign up in network marketing that night and go kill it, by the way, in my first 4 weeks, replacing my income because the product looked good. I didn't even know what the product was. And I really didn't care. 5 people agree with me. Awesome. I really didn't, you guys. What I saw was an opportunity to change my life. I saw an opportunity. And then I had to figure out, how do I get other people to see the opportunity to change their life? Do you understand? So think about it, right? Changing lives. So we need to start with why we're doing what we're doing. Start with our why. Not with our how. That will fall into place. Not with the what, which is whatever product you're marketing. We need to start with the why, because at the end of the day, every human being on the planet is born with an innate need for freedom. An innate need for freedom. Think about it. What would you give for your freedom? What would you give? What did the founders of this country give for your freedom? What's the answer? Their lives. But people just don't know where to start and how to get there. So we do need to start with why and find people that believe what we believe. Now, here's what I believe. We all have a comfort zone. We've heard this before. Everything we want is outside of our comfort zone while we are stuck in our comfort zone. Here's the problem with our comfort zone. It really is quite comfortable, but it is the death of our dreams. It is the death of greatness. Good is the enemy of, think about that. How many of you have a pretty good life right now? It's pretty good. But that's the enemy of great. So why am I talking about that when it comes to closing? Because how many of us have closing fears, right? We have closing fears, right? What if I take their credit card and they think I just want their money? Or what if I get them started and they fail? Or what if frogs had pockets, carried guns, and shot snakes? What will we do then? But the closing fears are the box that we find ourselves in. How many of you want this really badly? Like really badly. Like you think about it all day long, right? You think about it all day long. I was at dinner with some women. Where are you guys? I sat at dinner with you. Can you guys put up your hands just quickly? Give me a wave. There you are. Thank you for sharing. I asked them if there was anything you wanted to learn on closing, what would it be? And you know what? Everything that they said came back to belief in themselves. Every single one. And I'm going to share something with you guys. Getting out of that box, no one's going to give you permission. No one in your life is going to give you permission to go and get it done. Nobody. As a matter of fact, they're going to try and talk you out of it. They're going to try and shut you down, sit down, shut up, be a good girl. How many of you have been told that? Don't you think, where's my bold, where's my fighters? That's not very ladylike. So we all got these ideas or these closing fears, and they pop up. Even I have them, not very often, but they'll pop up. I've just learned how to deal with them. Successful people don't not feel fear. They feel fear and they do it anyway. So how do we get outside of our box? Well, one thing that we can do is learn, first of all, let's be real, they're going to judge you. That's it. You can try and behave. You can try and be whatever they want you to be. You can try and act a certain way, talk a certain way. There will always be haters. Always. Do you understand? And if you're doing something, you're going to have more haters. And if you're doing something huge, you're going to have even more haters. So can we settle that now? Where's my people pleasers? Got to make everybody happy. Where are you guys? Okay. You can't please all of the people all the time. But you know what's worse? When you're trying to please them, you can't please you. And that's worse. Right? Thank you. One person. I did that for a long time. I am really loud all of the time. Like I wake up like this. My family's like, dear God, she's awake. Right? I'm not kidding. It gets bad. And I'm a morning person, which makes it even worse. So I'm like, go bouncing in my daughter's room at 6 o'clock. What do you guys want to do? They're like, Mom, leave me alone. So here's the thing. I've been told I got in trouble in kindergarten for talking in class when I was whispering. The teacher said, you got to whisper. I'm like, I am whispering. Right? So I've been told my whole life that I am too bold. And then you couple that with having to overcome. When you have to overcome something, what happens inside of you? You become stronger, bolder, more prepared for the next battle. But the problem with that is if you're already bold, then what happens? Now, where are my people that want more boldness? You want more boldness. Do you guys want to know the honest to God truth about how to get it? 4 of you? Okay, here's the honest to God truth. When you're looking at closing, when you're looking at building this business, when you're looking at collecting that decision, when you're looking at somebody in the face and saying, join my team, you've got to believe in yourself. You do. But you know, here's the trap of it. You've got to be somebody worth believing in to believe in yourself. And that's the trap of it. So here's the thing. When you're thinking all day long about building your business, but you're not doing it, you're actually causing the disbelief in yourself. Does that make sense? How many of you have felt like that? You know you're supposed to be working, right? But we somehow figure out how to do the laundry, get our hair done, and our nails done while we're supposed to be making calls, right? Stuff gets in our way. So when we actually act towards our dreams, even if you suck at it, where are my people that you suck at it right now? You just suck. Awesome! Do it anyways. Because as you do it, your belief in you grows. And at the end of the day, when you believe in you, nobody can take that away. And that's what we're looking for, looking at doing in network marketing. So, how many of you would like to get out of your box? I just don't believe them. Okay, we'll skip it. Every single one of you has a champion inside. Every single one. How many of you know you were born for greatness? You know it, right? And how many of you feel that greatness rise up in you and then you hit your terror barrier? Like, whoa! No. No. I don't want to do that. What if I step out and I fall on my face? What if I try and it doesn't work? What if what? What if frogs had pockets, carried guns, and shot snakes? Yeah, it is. Okay, so what we can do to get outside of our box, here's some practical tips. Oh, did I go too far? I did. Yeah, okay. Become a CEO. You are the CEO of a multi-million-dollar corporation, multi-billion-dollar corporation, which means you need to study being a CEO. You need to learn how they walk, learn how they talk, learn how they dress, learn how they think. Because when you can start to mimic that in your life now, then the results will follow. You don't get the big business and then become the CEO. You become the CEO and then you get the big business. Here's the problem. Many of you aren't acting towards it, and so therefore you have no belief in your ability to do it. A CEO gets up early and acts like a CEO. There's some great books out there. I'd recommend Steve Jobs. Ask your leaders what autobiographies they've read. Do that. Number 2, expectation. You will get exactly what you expect in life, nothing more and nothing less. You will get exactly out of your life what you expect, nothing more and nothing less. And here's the problem. Most of us don't want too much. We want too little. We don't aim too high. We aim too low. Because we think if we aim high, we're not going to be able to hit the mark. We need to have high expectations. Number 2, if you don't help the person sitting across from you, tell me exactly who will. If that woman hadn't called me 14 days in a row, where would I be in my life right now? I was miserable, you guys. I had no retirement plan, debt I couldn't pay off, employees that were making me crazy. I didn't love my life. I certainly didn't love myself. I was running a church, had foster kids. It was a gong show. Now I get to travel with the love of my life, my best friend, my everything. My kids are free. They've been taught to think completely differently, right? I get to wear red shoes and nails like this, and no one can say anything, right? Like, whatever. You don't like it, don't look, right? So we need to have that for the person that we're closing. At the end of the day, we need to focus on them and their freedom. I said that everyone has freedom inside of them, and we do, but our job is to unlock the door for them to walk towards their futures. Unlock the door so they can walk toward their future. And the only way that's going to happen is if they get off their wallet and give you their credit card. Say it with me. Get off your wallet. Guys have no problem saying that. Women are like, that seems kind of harsh. I don't know if I can say that. Okay. 2 things in closing. Number 1, I really want to ask you guys, why is it okay for men to win and not for women? Why is it okay for men to win and not for women? Why is it okay in your mind for a man to talk about money, but a woman shouldn't? She should talk about the heart of the matter. Isn't that the truth? Yeah, it's the truth. Ask yourself, what is your thermometer when it comes to money? Because we can have heart and business sense at the same time. We don't have to pick one or the other. And number 2, when it comes down to it, success principles are not personality traits. They are not gender specific. you can have success. So, next time you go to close, remember that it's their future that's sitting in the balance of whether you can get up the kahunas to ask them for their credit card. For real. And if you ask and they say no, you did your part. You did your part in where God led you to that person at that specific time, at that specific moment, for them to step into their future if they choose. If they choose, that is your only responsibility in all of this. After that, the system takes over. And finally, women, stop asking men to respect and support you. Here's why. I have to not play my video because I have to talk about this. This is where we're going to end. I have a video I really want you guys to see, and maybe they'll give me 3 minutes extra. But here's the thing. As women, we want our husbands to support us. Do you know how many times I hear, my husband doesn't support me. I can't do this because my husband. I can't do this because my brother, uncle, whatever, doesn't support me. Men don't have a box in their brain for the word support. That's not a thing. They don't go to football together and talk about supporting each other. Dude, will you support me? Like, I want to go make a goal. Would you like to support me in that? They don't do that. Okay? That's not a thing. We're talking alien to them. If you want your husband or whatever respect, go out and earn it. Because men know one thing at the end of the day, and that is the bottom line. When you go shopping and you walk in the door, your husband says, how much did you spend? They don't care what's on sale. They don't care all the reasons you bought it. They just want to know, bottom line, how much and what's it going to cost me. Even if it's your money. What the heck? Okay, so instead of asking for your spouse to support you, why don't you go out and give him a reason to cheer for you? Because they'll test each other. Guys, you guys go play football, punch each other in the faces and drink beer after like it's normal, right? That's how they know how to relate. So when we're asking for their support and they're not, completely shutting us down, that is their support. But we then have to give results. And that goes for the male leaders in the company. Women, the statistics are horrifying. There's more women in this industry and less female leaders, and it is not right. You know why? Because we're afraid to talk about money. We're afraid to ask for the credit card. We're afraid to be champions. I'm going to roll this video, and that's where we're going to end. When you hear the thing that touches you, I want to hear it from you guys.
Faith will not be in my creed. I will believe where others have doubted. I will always uphold the prestige, honor, and respect of my team. I have trained my mind, and my body will follow. Who am I? I'm a champion. I will acknowledge the fact that my opponent does not expect me to win, but I will never surrender. Weakness will not be in my heart. I will arrive at the cutting edge of battle and win by any means at my disposal. I accept the fact that my team expects me to move faster and fight harder than our opponent. Never shall I fail my teammates. I will always keep myself mentally alert, physically strong, and morally straight. And I will shoulder more than my share of the task, whatever it may be, 100%. Who am I? I'm a champion. Gallantly will I show the world that I am a specially selected and well-trained warrior. My heart and my soul will be the fuel to carry my body when my limbs are too weary. I will never falter. I will never lose focus. As long as there is hope in my mind and my heart still beats, I will never give in to the evil that is weakness, and I will fight that evil with my dying breath. How am I? I'm a champion. Energetically will I beat my opponent. They will not challenge me. They will not stop me from my goal. I shall defeat them on the field of battle, for I am better trained and will fight with all of my might. Defeat, retreat are not a champion's words. I will never leave anything but the very best on the field with my teammates. And under no circumstances will I ever surrender. How am I? I'm the champion. Readily will I display the discipline and strength required to fight forward to my objective and complete that objective. I will rise when I have fallen. I will rip the heart from my opponent and leave it beating on the ground because he cannot stop me. Who am I? I'm a champion. My opponent may not fear me, but he will respect next week, but right now, none will say I'm not given all I have to give, and none will take my glory. Who am I? I'm a champion. History will remember me. No one will deny me. No one will define me. No one will tell me who and what I am and what I can't be. Who am I? I'm the champion. 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 Who am I? I'm the champion.
Thank you all.
How about this woman? Wow. How you doing? Remember I told you your brain was going to get a little tired? The fire hose? When I shoot the fire hose of information at you, are you going to be a champion? How many people have something for your notes? Don't trust it to your memory. Put it into the notes. Don't just think, yeah, I'll remember. Write it down. Make sure you got it. It's important. Let me give you a tip. One of the things that I enjoy doing, one of the things that I think is the great benefits of our business is in coaching another person. All of us have the opportunity to not only be a student, but to be a teacher. Not only be a teacher, but to be a coach and a mentor. You can start as a coach and become a mentor if you earn the respect. And every one of you has gone through challenges that allow you to relate to another human being in a way that maybe you've never thought about. It's our pain that links us. It's our pain that connects us. It's our pain that causes us to build rapport with another human being. So when you come across a person and they're looking for help, let me give you a tip. You're a very intuitive person. Inside of you, women much better than men. You can tell it. Sometimes you won't say it, but you can see the challenge long before other people see the challenge. You can see what's going on inside of another person long before they have the opportunity to see it themselves. So what I want to challenge you to do is have the courage to ask the next question and the next question and the next question to someone that you see is frustrated or stuck or in pain. And when you see it, have the courage to say it. Because can you change a person's life in a few minutes? The answer is of course. I want to show you many of you have probably seen this because it went all over the place. But at GoPro Recruiting Mastery, we had some of these little coaching moments that happened at the event. And I want you to watch one of them, and I want you to put yourself in my shoes, and see what I did in this situation, and what you might be able to do in this situation. Because the learning lesson here is, you have a gift, but you have to have the courage to step into it, and to be able to speak it out loud. And if you do, you can change lives. Not just change businesses, but you can change lives, okay? Check this video out.